Greetings, everyone. Welcome again to this 214th segment of Be Inspired with Buzopat Life-Changing Reality Tonic. Your host remains Honorable Ambassador Buzopat to Sigwe, and this platform is where we embrace the truth that leads to our freedom. Yes. Today, I'll be talking on this topic that so many people have bombarded my DM. Talk about it, and I'm like, okay. Yes, I'm going to talk about it today. And what is that topic? Menopause tears. Menopause tears. And what is menopause? Menopause is the natural and permanent end of a woman's menstrual period. Yes, marking the end of her reproductive years. That's what menopause is. And it's a change of life that happens from 45 years, 50 years, and it differs in most women. There is something crazy about menopause that even the women that is happening to don't actually know. Most people don't even know the cause, why it's happening, what is happening. I'm telling you. But menopause is caused by the withdrawal of the special hormone known as estrogen due to the insufficient supply of viable eggs in the ovaries. That is it. And it's a natural thing. It's not something is happening to you because of this or that, so that is natural. So when this withdrawal happens, to some is gradual, to some is sudden, and even when it's gradual, it comes with a lot of discomfort, and when it's sudden, it comes with intolerable pains, as in severe pains, and so many abnormalities that even you that is happening to will not even explain. And this explains why some women suffer in different forms, because it varies in different people. But there's nobody that don't have to sing, hey, there's nobody that don't have to cry. There's nobody that is happening to that don't actually see the other side of life. That's true. Most women go through so much during menopause, and it's crazy, okay? And then most people too that are on their way to menopause, or actually having it, or attaining it immediately, or I don't know how to really talk about this, that people will understand the agony that follows this. To so many women that are on their way to it, those that have attended, those that is into already, my dear, there are so many millions of questions that are asking that no other person can answer. Nobody can answer. And some of those questions are, what is actually happening to me? Are my village people after me? Have they really bewitched me? Have they remembered me? Who did I offend? Why can't I sleep well? Who is baking on my body? What is happening? Okay? Now, who has put this oven on me? How do I feel hot and cold after each second? Why am I having this terrible mood swing? Why is my waist burning like fire? What is actually moving in my body like a tsunami? A tsunami, what is it? Why am I unusually irritated? Why do I feel like I'm going to die any minute? Why does noise sound like a bomb to my ears? What is going on? What is going on? So many people don't understand it, I bet you. And it is not their fault, because the change comes with so much. It comes with so much. That's you normal you will go. You will know. You won't even remember how we used to be, because the things that are beating on your eardrum are different things. Irritations and mood swing and hot flushes are just there on per second billing in your life. And then, and seriously, I am not here to start talking about the stages, the sign, the system, and all that as a lecture. No. I am here to talk about something that pertaining all the questions that they ask me. Why 70% of marriages crashes? during this menopause time. Yes, do your research. Most of the divorces are filed during this time. Why? And I'm here to give you the little answers I can give. Because of the mistakes some men make with their women that are going through menopause. That is why you have a lot of divorce cases during this time. That doesn't mean the men are bad. That doesn't mean that the marriages are not sweet and well. But because of these mistakes, most men dismisses the symptoms and the pains of their partner, what they're going through during this time. Instead of being supportive, instead of being understanding, instead of being handy, they picked on the worst of these women and they react badly towards them, which is a no-no because they are going through hell. Most of these men make assumptions instead of communicating openly to understand what is going on. They fail to educate themselves about the transition, about what is going on with them, in front of them and with the women they used to know that are not actually behaving like they used to behave, instead of educating themselves to understand what is going on. And these are the problems that often lead to misunderstanding and emotional distance. It does. When a husband or a man ignores or downplays agony of menopause in the life of his wife or woman, and chose to exhibit uncontrollable behaviors, emotional and psychological abuse like gaslighting, constant criticism, and lack of respect towards her emotion and what she feels. When you commonize and ridicule her mood swings, the hot flashes and the, or the utterances that the woman may or may not have control over, you not only make her hate you, she may loathe you with passion. That is what most men don't understand. Because the woman is dealing with so much that no one is seeing. So much that no one understands. So much that she can't even explain because the thing comes back to back like that. So most of the things she's feeling, she's actually screaming for help, that instead of you to pay attention to understand what she is saying, you're busy making the mistake with your confusion and abusing the situation and making it turn to hatred instead of love. Yes, a lot of men will twist the situation, and be demanding for apology. Well, maybe something the woman may have said, from her moods, from whatever. And instead of the men in their lives to understand, they will be looking for apology. They will be demanding. They will be counting errors. They will be doing this, stamping that, which actually is a terrible mistake on its own. Because you can't be asking for apology from someone who truly needs your kindness, who needs your help, who needs your support, who needs your encouragement, who needs your love at that particular point in time. That's what a woman going through menopause needs, And then instead, the man will be too occupied to give what this woman needs and use his hand to tear down the marriage or the home that they've built for a long time. Some men don't understand that this is the worst time to judge any woman. And it's the worst time for you to count errors. It's the worst time for you to start giving her back bad treatment, giving silent behaviors and different kind of things that most of the people that actually got him do. Some women may even have social anxieties at this time or low energy. A lot happens. It varies, And instead of helping to save her, some men see the mood swing as a personal attack, a personal insult to them, actually trying to say that the woman or whatever is actually dragging wings with them in the home and all that. That is not what is supposed to be. That is not what them, because like I said, it's something that you need to understand. The truth is that menopause makes women lose interest in a lot of things, including sex and even their looks, which an unsupportive husband will misinterpret and call abuse or call carelessness or call lazy or call a lot of things, even dirty. A lot of them choose to do a lot of bad things during this time that whoever they claim to love is going through something that is beyond the person. A woman that is going through menopause, honestly, needs a lot of support, needs a lot of care, needs a lot of encouragement. needs a lot of love from the husband, a lot. So men, instead of making life double hell for such women and destroying your home with your own hands without knowing, get involved by educating yourself about the changes and about what to expect. Because if you actually know and understand this thing, you can read it up, you can know what to expect, what is there, so that you will even thank God if what is happening to your wife is not as bad as what is happening to other people. A lot of people know the theory aspect of this, but in practical, they are so immature. And they are so mean to these women. Some out of confusion, some out of ignorance, some out of so many things, but then the pain doesn't go away. That is the truth. So get involved, and be prepared to have an open and honest conversation with these women so that you will know how you can help, and be prepared to put yourself under at this particular point in time. There's nothing about you that should surface. You need to kill your ego, erase every form of negative feeling or selfishness of this is me, you said this to me, and all that. At this point, is inconsequential. Is actually inconsequential if you really, really love the woman that you're with. Because it is time to offer practical support. You need to make sure you make a relaxation, a relaxing bed for the woman, rub her waist, run errands, help with the tasks, especially if there are children in that house. My dear, this is the time for you to take over their needs, because what that woman is dealing with, the things she's dealing with, the things communicating inside of her, the things that are happening to her, is not even what you allow if you really love that woman. It's not even a time for you to be hard in any form, in any way. Every good husband will wear patience, patience coat with his woman at this point. At this point, because the symptoms can be very difficult to cope. And to some, the changes may take time to manage. So it's not even their fault. Women going through menopause is actually vulnerable, and they are in crisis. I can say that. I can say that authoritatively. And this is a time to provide assurance. This is a time to prove your love and show that irrespective of how they look, that are still attracted to you, that you still love them. This is the time to show the how. This is the time to show that yes, whatever happens, it is you that are married. Mismanagement of menopause symptoms have broken so many relationships and has scattered so many marriages. Irrespective of how many years or how loving it used to be, this very stage has seen to the death of so many marriages and so many relationships. There is something women going through menopause don't even have control over. It's something they don't have control over. And one thing they don't have with them at this particular point is logical reasoning. They actually don't have it. The pain and hot flashes has blooded. It has blanked it. What they react to is the pain they feel. What they react to is a war going on inside their body. What they react to is that thing that nobody is seeing, yet they are dropping. So don't be mean to them at this point. You could lose them forever. There's no two ways about it. A woman that is going through menopause that you're criticizing, that you can actually do away with that marriage, can run away from you no matter how angelic you think you are. She may not need you, because what you're doing at that time is like an open wound. You're using cutlass inside an open wound, breaking it, and in the name of what? That is where the mistake is, and that is the answer to why 70% of marriages crash at this point. And to women that are going through this, let me tell you something you need to avoid. You need to avoid sleep interruption, because it could actually cause extreme fatigue. You need to avoid it. You need to avoid depression of any kind, no matter what is going on. Don't allow depression sink in, Avoid alcohol, drinks, coffee, spicy food, because they trigger these hot flushes. You can't even know, Avoid stress of any kind, hot beds, warm weather, how do I even say, all those things that you know that could actually aid to what you're going through, especially hot things, avoid them. Avoid the nagging, unreasonable and unsupportive husband at this point. You need to. That is a suicidal mission. Keep your room cool, keep everywhere you are calm. Drink soya milk if you can, eat soya beans if you can, and at this point you can actually what like yogurt. Yes, it's something that really yogurt helps. You need to take good doses of vitamin E with meals. Is very, very okay. Take enough B complex vitamins as well. Practice deep breathing. You need to actually learn to practice it more and do it more, because it's kind of helping cutting out the, I don't know, but so it works. Exercise regularly because it improves circulation and increases the estrogen in the blood. It does that. So use only cotton clothes, and cotton bed sheets, and don't use a nylon nightgown. Don't even bother. All those kind of things that just avoid them, because they trigger the heat. I said the heat wave that these women experiences are not ordinarily. It comes from everywhere. Even the hot swelling and what's it called, the irritations, and even that internal and external organs can even swell up, and it occurs like that in some women. Then a lot have dry vagina, which can cause excruciating pain during intercourse. So most women avoid intercourse for any. They don't even have the feeling for this at all, and they dread it like anything. And this is where a soft and understanding husband will come handy in order to find a way to make these women relax. That's where they need to come in. Menopause stages in a woman's life is a time, a man, whoever says he ever loved a woman, will be at his best to avoid being seen by the wife as a wicked, heartless, irrational, mean, bad, immature, and a terrible man, because there's nothing that woman will not see you as. If the only time you have to show empathy and compassion, to actually show understanding and patience, to actually show love and care, that's when you choose to call her every name and everything. That is why, so many things go wrong in marriages at this point. So many goes wrong at this stage. So many. How many are we going to talk? A lot of things go wrong. Who will you blame now? Is it the confused man that don't want to understand to add help or add value? Or is it the woman that is going through this that could not even, how many would she? Because it comes in varies. Today it could come with all the bones in her body collapsing. Tomorrow it will come with her just not being happy, signing and not, so even if she explains today, what about tomorrow? But for a man who has gone to read up to understand and educate himself with whatever it is, we actually know the signs and symptoms and everything, and know exactly what. And if a woman is feeling like that, all you need to do is calm down and don't add by talk. I talk, do this one. A lot of them will run to social media to start painting the women in their life black, and instead of them seeing them as the victim, they are calling them villains and trying to say that's how they feel. And in feeling like that, you run to social media and be posting things that are actually speaking negatively about the woman that you claim to love. You start happening to people, and you turn around to say you want. What sort of annoyance when this woman is dying right before your eyes and needs help? So many people go crazy at this point. So many people lose it. So many people lose their lives. So many people that don't understand think that they're already dying. And of course, you know what it means when you think the worst of situations and you know how it comes. So that is just it. And instead of how? Oh my God. I just don't want marriages to end anymore. I feel that most of the men that are guilty of this too, when they come across my podcast, they should just learn their lesson, turn around and become, it's never wrong. A day starts a story. And if you turn around and become a better person, you will still have a way of getting back into the heart of your loved one, or your wife, your woman, or anything, or your partner, whatever it is. Because what you call insult. It's actually them trying to say you are not there. You're not doing what you're supposed to do, and you're not helping in the way you're supposed to help them. That is that reaction that you're misinterpreting. And as long as you misinterpret it, you could end up losing that woman forever, because she is actually going through a lot of mental bastardized health at that time. So you need to either add value or you don't at all. That is just it. This is my message for us today. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Be inspired with Buzopat. And when you do, like, share to your friends and contact is very, very important. If you don't share, people won't get to understand what you have learned and another needs to learn. There are so many marriages that need to be saved with this podcast. So many relationships needs to be straightened. So many men need to come to to an understanding and see their wrongs and right their wrongs. So many women too need to have more opening and talk and then be able to explain. And then what can I say? What can I say? May this podcast bring blessings to so many people that I may not even understand, I may not know, may not, so many people like that. I pray. Subscribe to YouTube, be inspired with Buzopat. Click on the notification button so that you will know when next my video drops. Menopause tears is deep. It's crazy. Don't underestimate it. Don't commonize it. Don't just downplay it. Don't just think the woman is just talking and being different and wanting to be a man and this and that. Nah, that is when you need to show love, if you ever loved your woman. Peace and love be with you, people. Thank you. Bye.